Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to.
How did you get into the media and what prompted it?
My journey into broadcast journalism started in 1992, and I think it was ordained by God to create that path for me. Prior to 1992, I was working for IAS Cargo Airline, which of course was a cargo airline also involved in courier business, and I was the area manager in charge of Lagos Island. So my office was on the marina. What I did was to personally attend to him, and incidentally, he was dispatching mails in invitation to a program called Nigeria Praise. And he invited me and asked if I could join them and be one of the MCs, and I said yes. Incidentally, on that very day, who did I see? Mr. John Momoh, who was the main anchor, and I assisted him. And the event went well. After that, I think Mr. Momoh was impressed, and he asked what I was doing, if I would be interested in joining him, because it was about setting up a TV production house. I said, sure, of course, I would love to, because I've always longed, to do that. So I joined him and got employed in 1992. I was the first staff employed as a staff for the production house Channels Incorporated, and this was at TBS. So that was how my journey started, and then we moved to Dauphin Estate. I was employed as a marketing manager at that time, because my background, coming from the courier industry, so he felt that I could be very useful in marketing this new initiative. And of course, we were producing programs, for international media organizations, for CNN World Reports, and then for other, not CNN World, but for CNN and Jim Lehrer, Tiger Aspect, and the BBC. So that was how we got into journalism, broadcast journalism. At the end of the day, we were producing programs, and I had the opportunity to report for the first time mobile track and field events, which was organized by Mobile. I think that was somewhere in 1992 or thereabout, and the report was good. Ms. Momoh felt that I had nothing doing in marketing. That wasn't what I should be doing. I should come into reporting and production. And that was how I got in there, and the rest is history.
Okay. Now, I know very well that you read mass communication at the Federal Polytechnic in Oko. But you also started out as a media marketer. So how easy was it for you to cross over from marketing to mainstream reporting and television production?
Right, you can't beat innate talent. I knew from the word go that I was destined for television, production, presentation, and all of that. So it wasn't difficult for me to transit, not at all. And besides, Mr. Momoh has an eye for talent. When he sees a talent, when he spots a talent, he'd like to groom the talent and all of that. So for me, it wasn't difficult, because back then in school, I was doing quite a lot in terms of production, presentation, and all of that. I ran the OBS, Orientation Broadcasting Service, and many of our generation and the people who have that talent at those days would naturally gravitate towards broadcasting. And then for me, that was my calling. So it wasn't difficult at all for me to transit.
All right. Now, having put in over 30 years into this profession, what would you say has kept you going?
So what has kept me going is passion. I'm very passionate about the role of the media in shaping the society, the role of the media in holding government or those in authority to account, the role of the media in educating the people and making a good society out of wherever we find ourselves. So that's what has kept me going, and I feel so so proud when I see a good television production, a good reports, a good presentation radio, and it's able to impact the people. So passion has been that that's kept me going. At those days, we'll be competing to see whose report makes the first 15 minutes on the news at 10. That was the passion. So late Leko Ashimi and I were always competing on whose report would make first 15 minutes on news at 10 then. So it was the passion that was the propelling force for me, and has still remained so.
Okay. Having known Mr. John Momoh for over 30 years, and also having enjoyed the privilege and the opportunity to interact with him closely for that number of years, what kind of person would you say he is, and what do you think makes him tick?
Mr. Momoh is a thoroughbred professional, and we all know that from his days in NTA as a producer, newscaster. He's a thoroughbred professional who likes to do things as if after him nobody does it again. You can call that deep sense of perfection, and that's the kind of person he is, and a man who would like to spot a talent, as I said earlier on, and pull the talent and make sure he's given the wings to fly. He's someone who believes in staying ahead of competition, and very innovative. And those of us who have worked with him over the years have imbibed, those ethos, the profession, such as making sure your story is balanced, be independent, be fair, must be truthful, and all of that, must be dependable. Your story or your report must be the one that people can trust. So trust is very critical for Mr. Momoh, and then that is why today Channels Television has come a long way. 30 years, it'll be 30 years, and it's 30 years this year, 2025. Okay. So those are the qualities that he has that has kept us going, and then I'm super happy that our paths crossed in this profession.
Okay. Now,
did I answer your question? Did I answer all the questions?
No, you did. And
okay.
When you started out, who were your earliest, sources of inspiration? Who are those that inspired you?
As when we started in 1992 as a production house, and then by 1993 we were still working to make sure we stand out, still producing for international broadcast organizations. That was when CNN was also coming up. So my earlier inspiration, of course, came from Mr. Momoh. I had mentioned that earlier on. The second inspiration came from CNN. Why? Because then we had people like Bernard Shaw. We had people like Lou Dobbs. Lou Dobbs was producing business. We had people like Bobby Batista. These were the early staff of CNN, producers and presenters and reporters. So they were an inspiration. And I wanted to prove that if they could do it there, we can also do it here in Africa, here in Nigeria. And guess what? We had, although we worked with pneumatic tapes, pneumatic cameras, VHS, at that time, then we upgraded to Betacam SP. We were the first production house to have the Bitacam SP with boom mics and all of that. And we were able to do things, you know, looking at what CNN was doing and of course trying to adapt to our environment. Personally, that was my early inspiration. Right.
All right. Now you left channels, came back, left AIT, came back. Why are you always going and coming?
Oh yeah, because I'm a restless soul. As a young person, it would be wrong for you to stay in one place and think you'll gain all the knowledge or experience. In my maternal village in Abia State, in Obako, in Okwa local government area of Abia State, it is said that you don't stay in one place and watch a masquerade, right? You have to move around if you have to enjoy it. And I was looking for an opportunity to develop myself more, see the world, gain experience, not only in the media, but in other parts of endeavors. So I left channels at that time to go work for British American Tobacco as corporate communications manager. And that exposed me to quite a number of things and ingrained in me the deep sense of private sector in terms of results orientation, in terms of planning, delivery, deadlines, and all of that. So I left to work for BAT. But guess what? When I was leaving, Ms. Momoh looked at me at a send-off he put together on my behalf, and which was the first ever to be done, you know, for such an organization.